What's up, sports fans? I'm Gilmore Junio. Welcome to Tell Me More, the podcast where we take a deep dive into the stories of our athletes of Team Canada. Today, I'm joined by absolute legends of the figure skating world, four-time Canadian champions, four-time World Championship medalists. From Bond to Broadway, they have wowed crowds for 15 years. With their authentic storytelling and innovative choreography. Of course, I am talking about the one, the only, Paul Poirier and Piper Gilles. Guys, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you guys feeling leading into Milan and general just vibe coming off a great season last year? And what are we thinking for this year?
Yeah, I think we're feeling good.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pressure going into the last Olympics. Everything felt really heavy. It was also the pandemic was happening, and a lot of the usual supports we have around us were not there in the same way. We just didn't have all of the resources that we're used to having to support us and get us through. And I think that felt really heavy and hard. I think in comparison, entering this season, we feel really good. We feel really confident. And I think just excited to share what we love to do. And I think that's the best place to be mentally going into a competition season is being excited about it and excited about the thing that we love, which is skating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Coming off those 22 Olympics, there was obviously a lot of pressure on you guys. Did you come off that season? What was like the biggest lesson that you learned either about each other or yourselves from that? And like how were you motivated to like keep going another 4 years, or was it year by year after that? Like what was the kind of sentiment after those games?
Yeah, 2022 was a gong show for us in general. Like it was not the Olympic moment we had planned for. I think looking back, we didn't trust our unit, like our coaches or this and that. We had a lot more input than we were used to, because in 2018 we were the underdogs. Like we really had no expectation other than just to go out there and have fun and being in a pressure situation of like we could potentially be on the podium. I think we almost put too much on ourselves and we relied too much on outward expectations and opinions to divert us from what we do best, is like listening within our team, trusting our staff. And that was the biggest lesson learned, because we really did not leave Beijing satisfied. I mean, it was so inspiring being here at Olympic Lab and hearing everybody's story about, their Olympic moment. But then sometimes you don't have those Olympic moments. You have those failures. And like those moments in Beijing felt like a failure, but then taking a couple days after like puts things in perspective. You're like, we're at the Olympic Games with the best athletes in the world. Like we need to pat ourselves on our back that we're here for our second time, your third time. So we learned a lot, but I thought at that time that was the end of us. Like we were like, there's no way we're going to the next one. We're too old. Like we don't have any. And at the time we didn't have any more passion to like give. You felt so depleted. Yeah. So going into this, we were like year by year, and somehow we're here.
What was that moment for you guys that really brought that passion back? Because it's not an easy thing to find.
No, it's not. And I think for us, it was really gradual. Like to me, at least for me, there wasn't an epiphany post games where it was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm motivated. I'm feeling good. I want to do this. We took almost 2 months completely off. And by completely off, like normally, even when we're off, we're like planning things, we're filling out paperwork, we're making plans, we're talking about schedules, we're choosing music, designing costumes, like all of those things happen in the background while we're giving our bodies a rest that they need. Yeah. And we really did not communicate for 2 months. No, we didn't communicate with the coaches either.
No.
And so we had given ourselves that time, and then it was kind of early to mid July. Yeah. And our coach called us and said like, hey, what are you doing? Like, we need to plan, like, because they need to allocate their schedules and ice time and all of those kinds of things. So what are you going to do? And so we said, okay, we'll get back on the ice for a week and see how we feel. And that's really just how it started. It just started like, let's get through the first week and see. And I think the process of creating is what brought the passion and the motivation back. That's the thing that we enjoy the most in skating, is that we get to make choreography and create new things and try out ideas and tell stories. And so it wasn't until we got back to that act of creating that we felt like, oh yeah, this is our space. This is where we thrive. This is where we know who we are and what we know what to do. And so I think it was a gradual process. And as we got deeper into the season and as we really refined the choreography, that's to me when the spark kind of came back a little bit. And the spark was just for like, let's get through the season and let's get back to a place where we're enjoying what we're doing. We're enjoying competing, we're enjoying skating, and we're doing it for ourselves.
I think I saw a line from you kind of said that taking a time, like moment by moment leading into Montreal, we'll see where it goes. Obviously, a really good result there.
Yep.
Did you have to have that result at World Championships to like validate going into the season confident, or is it like you're going to come to the season no matter what and see what happens? But
yeah, I mean, I think Montreal was definitely a turning point for us. Yeah. Like, you know, once we got through the first year, the second year was like, well, it's Montreal. It was the Worlds that we didn't get to do. And so we're like, you know, it's home. There's nothing like a World Championships at home. Yeah. So we're like, let's do that. Let's do that for our people and see. And then when we won the free dance there, it was really like a fuel and like a fire was set underneath us. Like, wow, we actually could win Worlds and we could win the Olympics. And when you start to talk like that, you're like, well, I guess why not? You know, like why not take that risk? Why not invest another year and a half of our life after we've already committed? I don't even want to say like almost 30 years, which is crazy. Like, but again, like what's another year and a half for that possibility of that dream that like we all have strived for? You know, it's right there. Why not take the risk?
For sure. When you talk about the length of your guys' career, speaking about your partnership, you've been partners for 14 years.
14 years.
Now. Years.
You know, you've had success before. Obviously, you went to the Olympics in 2010. 2011 comes and you guys make a big change. You go looking for a new partner. How did this? I don't think I've ever talked to you guys about how the partnership actually started. Okay. You were still in the States.
Yep.
So how does it all kind of come about?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the like skating partner matching is really something you only understand when you're in our world. And I think what that process looks like is it's different for everyone, and it's also different at what point you are in your career. So, you know, at the point that we were both looking for partners in 2011, we were already very advanced in our careers, had a lot of international experience. And so the pool of possible people that are competing and have the skill at the level that you need in order to skate with you and match with you is very small. And everybody knows everyone and everyone knows everybody's coaches. And so it's really just a question of like reaching out, doing a tryout and seeing if it's going to work. And you can usually tell in the first few minutes if the skating is going to work. Usually the harder bit is the rest. It's like the personalities and are you aligned in your goals and can you agree on logistics and where you're going to live and where you're going to train and what are you going to do? And we had the added complication of Piper switching countries. And so there's a matter of like getting a passport and getting it released from the United States Figure Skating Federation. When I decided to continue skating and looking for a new partner, Piper wasn't really on my radar because
I wasn't in the pool of people to skate with.
Did you know of?
I knew of Piper. Okay, we had competed against each other, but Piper hadn't competed in a year. She had actually quit skating.
I quit. I moved to LA. I was like, I'm going to be an actress. I was in a Simple Plan music video. I was not in the frame of mind of competing ever again.
Because you're doing Disney on Ice.
I got offered Disney on Ice, and like the only reason why I turned it down was because he called me the same day I was supposed to sign my contract. So I had to decide like a fork in the road.
And it was super serendipitous because I got a Facebook message from Piper's old coach.
Which I didn't know about.
Who said, like, have you thought about skating with Piper? I think you should reach out to her. I think it could be really good. Give her a call, see what she thinks. And I was like, at this point, again, as I said, at this point, there's nothing to lose. I think, I think we've really learned in sport, like there's so much power in saying yes to things, even if it's it completely like fails and it's a catastrophe and whatever. Like there's so much power in saying yes. And like so much of it doesn't work out the way that you want it to, but sometimes like a yes leads you to exactly where you need to be. And so we set up a tryout. It was the last one in kind of people that I want to try out with.
No way.
And, but as I said, you know right away if the skating is going to work. And so we kind of knew that. And it was just a matter of like, can we get the logistics to work in a way where we think that we can be successful? Because you really can't tell with a new partnership if in the first, like our coach always says it takes 3 years to know if like a partnership is really going to gel. It's a big commitment. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of giving of yourself. And so you have to like just jump off the cliff together and like hope that it's going to work out the way that you want to. Obviously you have to work hard and you have to be committed, and you know, that's a prerequisite, but you kind of have to be in it for a somewhat long haul if you want to get anything out of it. And we found a way to make it work, and you know, that's led us to like all of the amazing experiences that we've been able to have today in skating. So yeah, but I think that's been the story of our career, is to like take those chances when they feel like the right one.
Well, I didn't know you had quit, and so in coming back for this trial, were you wanting to come back to like competitive, the long haul, we'll say, or was it like, you know, I'm just gonna go and see what's gonna happen?
Honestly, I'd given up on my Olympic dreams. Like I remember, like it was like I just graduated high school, and I was like trying to like figure out what I was gonna do and this and that. I specifically remember a conversation with my dad, and I remember this roundabout like close to my house, and I remember every time we drive by it, I'm like, oh my god, I remember this conversation. But it was like, are you done with your Olympic journey? Like, is your Olympic dreams just done? And I was like, I laughed and I was like, Dad, like 1 in a million athletes, you know, like can go to the Olympic Games. Like it's so rare. And I was like, I tried, it didn't work for me. Like I got to find a new path. And he was like, okay. But like, honestly, and it was really only a couple of weeks later after that, Paul called me, and it's just like a total chance. But it was a risk. Like I was so out of shape. I lived with the Billet family, and the mom, I remember she kept having to like check in on me because I would finish skating and we were at the rink all day, and I would get up.
Where was the tryout?
This was in Toronto. We'd committed to each other in July. Okay. I moved there. I brought 2 suitcases. This poor family, like I came with so much clothes. They were like, what did we get ourselves into? But like she would come up to my room, like knock on the door and be like, are you okay? And I would be like face first in my bed, just passed out. I was so tired. I don't remember ever being this tired after training in my life. And I was just like, I remember calling my mom, I think it was like 2 weeks in, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I was like, is this what it takes, like to be a senior athlete, to like compete with an Olympian? I don't know if I can do it. Like, I don't know if I have the grit. But like over time, your body like slowly starts to remember how to do
You're really
it.
Making her earn her stripes. Eh?
Oh my god!
I did nothing.
Like, earn your keep. Get here. You know.
This is how we do it in Canada.
This is what we do. You know. But like, what I find so amazing about the situation was like someone like Paul and our coaches Carol and Eurus obviously saw something in me and saw something in us, that they believed in us to know that this was worth the journey and like worth the investment. Because it's hard, you don't know someone, you know, but they took that risk. And I think that's something so unique, and especially because you've been with the coaches since the beginning of your career.
I was a young kid.
That they saw something, and I think that's so, it changes people's lives.
So yeah, I going back to that, like what was it, I guess for you, what was it about Piper that you thought, did you immediately think this can be something special? Or is like, okay, we're going to see how this goes? Or were you like immediately bought into
I mean, I think, as I said, I think you know if the skating's gonna work. Mm-hmm. You have no idea how anything is gonna play out.
Like, do you guys get along right away? Like,
yeah, we got along. I think we were really able to just connect on a lot of things. We're from the same generation. We had a lot of shared references. Yeah. I think more than any
YouTube, we connected a lot on videos.
But I think beyond that, and what's really important, like I think we really shared a philosophy of skating in a way. We shared what we liked about skating, what we thought was interesting in skating, because there's this other dimension to our sport that's artistic and creative. And so you also have to be aligned in like kind of what you want to put out in the world and like what you want to make and what you think is interesting and worth doing. It's not just a question of like, you know, how do we get better? There's like a much bigger question of like, what do I want to create? And I think just going through that process together and making, we were very aligned in how we wanted to do that. I think what's really allowed us to thrive, that we learned really early, is that we complemented each other really well. And, you know, Piper's a very like real and immediate and reactive. Like she's like so present in her body and like knows exactly what she needs to do and where she needs to be and like what she wants to like put out. And that really forced me to like not get like stuck in my own head or like stuck with like in my own butt usually, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm like so just like lost in my own world. You know, and in the same way, I think because I'm so thoughtful, it also like allowed me like, well, let's take a step back.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think we were able to like draw out of each other what the other person needed a little bit. And those are things you don't know. You know, you do a tryout for 3 days and you're like, oh, we like work well together and we can like get along and we can laugh and that's great. But like the rest of it, you have to go through that process together. To see, and like, you know, we were lucky too that was the case, that worked out. We also put a lot of time and energy and investment into making sure we could be the best partner for each other. We had both had partnerships that didn't work, and we knew how destructive that could be and how that could really just like suck all the joy out of skating. And so I think that was important to us as well. And so we made that investment to make sure that we did that as well.
Because you had to take a year off when you transferred over. Was that like, if you didn't take that year off international competition, do you think you would have still had the same relation? Like being able to invest into that year off of like international competition, do you think that was like massive for you guys? Or?
I mean, I think it was the best thing for us. I mean, honestly, we really got to have a year to just enjoy skating. You know what I mean? Enjoy this new journey that we were on. Like everything felt like, again, it's your first, and to be thrown right into like your first international within a few weeks, months of being together would have been so difficult, like a totally different pressure cooker situation. So we just like, we started off our first year with so much joy. Like we were, you know, we were doing well at like all of our little mini competitions and this and that. And like by the time we got to nationals, it was just like a giant celebration of what we had just created in the first year. And it left so much hope for what the future brought for us. So when we did finally have that chance to go international the next year, we were a little bit more grounded. We started to understand how each other competed, you know, again, like what was our voice going into the first season. And I think we really kind of, by doing Mary Poppins and then we called a program like Wild Spirits, like we really tried to show what types of athletes and what type of legacy we wanted to create from that first season on. Like
I watch figure skating. I don't watch a lot, but when I watch you guys skate, it's like there's something different about when you are skating, whether it is the music, the choreography, or the costumes. Like what is the creative process when making routines as unique as yours? And like, do you ever think like maybe we shouldn't do this? Maybe this is too big of a boundary to push, or
we've been there.
Yeah, we've been there. We're there all the time. And I think so many conversations for us always start with like, so I couldn't sleep last night, and or I had this really weird dream, and it's probably not possible, or it's probably really stupid, but what if? Blah 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 blah, whatever it is. I think our superpower is that like we always ask each other those questions, like even if it's the most ridiculous, horrible, worst idea, or like, you know, something that just. Because it's very easy, you know, when you've been skating for so long, it's so easy to get trapped by your own assumptions of what works and what doesn't work and what's possible and what's not possible, that you can really just box yourself in a lot of ways. And we'll always ask each other those questions, and 98% of the time it's garbage. It's a lot, like, you know,
filter.
So much of there's so much filtering and editing that happens. But I think it's fun. It's fun to try, and even sometimes it's fun to give things the time. So even you know, you'll try something and it's really ugly, and you're like, well, let's do it for a week and like see if it turns into anything. And so we always allow ourselves to like give the time to those like kind of like weird, freaky, half-baked things that like pop into our head. But that's what we enjoy. That's what we enjoy doing. I think it makes skating fun and special. And I think it's what makes us in a lot of ways.
Do you have like a favorite idea that ended up on the cutting room floor that you like wish that you still maybe want to bring back?
No.
You're like, but I ended up there for a reason.
My favorite though is Carol. We were trying to figure out what like we were gonna do a short dance at the time, and we ended up doing Beatles, and we went back and forth through this broke, and we were like, it's like a time trip. But I'll remember this moment. We were sitting on the ice with Eurus, and Carol came back from the bathroom. Guys, I have the best idea. And she's like, I was in there. She's like, I think you guys are going to think I'm crazy. And we're like, no, say it.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, what if we're on like a trip? Like, if we went from the Beatles and then we went on this little journey to like be in like the broke era, and then all of a sudden we came back to being the Beatles. We're like, we love it, sold. Like, let's just do it. And like, we did it, and obviously like it didn't resonate as well as it did in our brains and whatever, but it was worth the risk. And the same thing happened in 007. I think we just took the pressure off of this because we made the choice of doing something, and now we're making this choice, and like, let's just go with it and like enjoy it. And that's like some of the best skates we've ever had, is like being in those uncomfortable situations of something that's brand new, but you learn so much from those moments of making mistakes and learning from them. And
I think too, it's very different being in an uncomfortable situation because you've taken the agency to make the decision that you think is the best decision for you as an athlete in that moment. It's very different. You know, you can be really stressed about something that's not in your control, and that's really hard. But I think it's a different kind of stress when it's like, I've chosen to do this because I think this is the best thing I can do for myself right now. And there's a lot of power in that, and it can bring a lot of peace to just know that like you've made a change for yourself that you think that you need at that time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think something that's something that's just, as an athlete, to be able to be in control of like your situation, whether it is comfortable or uncomfortable, at least gives you some peace when you're going to compete. I don't know if this is like picking your favorite child, but do you guys have a favorite routine that you're like, that was the most fun in skating? Outfit, music, choreography, it all clicked. That was like the best.
I mean,
I don't know if you want to say that because you peak, but
no. But like, we have so many beautiful children. I would like to say, and it's hard to pick your favorite. Obviously, a parent always has one. They do, and obviously, it's me. Just kidding. Got it. Sorry to my other 4 siblings, but for me, 007 will always be this special moment, and it was more because of the background of that. Like, again, it was earlier in that season, right before the Olympic Games, our first Olympic Games, we chose music that wasn't resonating with people. They didn't really understand it. And we made the choice a couple weeks before to totally change it to 007. The choreography stayed pretty similar to what it was. But again, we made that choice. And we did it at Nationals, and it was like, okay. But then, like, I remember this like so clearly before our 5-minute warm-up. Paul and I were just like so intense. Like, we were just not on the same page, and like, we took like a second. We were just like, okay, like, let's just enjoy the moment. We did the work. Like, this is us. This is our journey. And we went out and we skated like the best program of our lives. And Paul is like not like, I'm the emotional person, and like, he's structured, and this is why we work. But like, at the end of the program, when he celebrated, he dropped his arms. I lost it. And I like jumped on him. And it's like one of those special moments when you see him just totally pure joy and energy, like, of celebration. That program, that moment will always be something so special, and I like always want to replicate that feeling. And we've done that more and more recently, and I enjoy those. Like, the last couple of Worlds, we've had those moments. You know,
I think every program we've done has been a reflection of where we were and who we were as people at that time. Like, all of them just feel so important in a way, and like part of the story and part of the journey. And I don't know. I find that really hard. I do.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to the most about the next Olympics?
Yeah, I think going into this Olympics, like, this is our Olympics. You know, it's not for anyone else. We've chosen year by year that this was the step that we were going to take. And this is our journey. And I think when we go into a competition season or a competition, you know, when we own it and are feeling confident and feeling just us, we skate our best. And I think we didn't know that 4 years ago. You know, we're different people than who we were then. And I think, again, from failure, you learn how to rise. And I think slowly we are rising to the challenge of this. And it's going to be hard. It will be, as much as we can be like, oh, I'm so excited and this and that. There's going to be challenges. But I think we're so much more well prepared mentally, physically. We do well when our surroundings are filled with our family, our friends, like it wasn't for the last games. Like, I think we really use our community to lift us up, and the fact that they'll be there, I think, I think we're ready. We're ready to take on that challenge and push for our first podium finish. I mean, we want the gold. That's our plan. But I think we're ready to enjoy the moment, enjoy our moment. Like, we've earned it.
I think everything that Piper said, and I think also just to return to the Olympic community, you know, our last games, we had the benefit and the privilege to go, you know, to be in Pyeongchang together and like have that normal Olympic experience where the entire team really comes together and just like the community, as you know, there's so much just like joy in meeting athletes from across the country from different sports, like that come from a completely different world than you, but at the same time from the exact same world as you, from that same like just like pursuit of the craft, and like being able to appreciate that and like use that as a point of connection, and to create these memories with people. We really missed that in Beijing, and we had teammates where that was their first games who didn't get that experience. And so I think we're really excited to go as us, but also as Team Canada and figure skating, but also as like the bigger Team Canada, where we just get to really come together and to like have an audience again, have all of the environment of celebration that comes with the Olympic Games, and to feel that again. I think it's felt like it's been a really long time.
All right, rapid fire questions with Paul and Piper. First answer that comes to your mind, okay? So not a lot of thought.
Okay.
No stewing.
Quick, Paul, you got this.
This is unfiltered here.
My MO is stewing, so we're gonna see what happens.
Okay. Favorite element to perform together?
Twizzles.
Yeah, Twizzles.
Twizzles.
Yeah.
Who nails choreography faster?
Piper.
I would say Paul, but okay.
Just compliment
Okay,
each other.
here's what I'd say.
Gas each other
If
up.
it's demonstrated, Piper. If it's explained in words,
Paul,
me.
We don't.
Really?
We learn totally different, which is crazy. Yep.
I feel like that's like,
Our coaches
how do you
are
ever
like
get
that.
anything done? It's
Well,
like-
yeah, one coach is more physical and one's more verbal.
Next one. Most memorable crowd reaction you've ever had?
Boston Worlds.
I would say Montreal at home, 2024. They were on their feet before we even like finished. Like, crazy.
Who's the perfectionist in practice?
That's me.
say Paul. I'm like, that's good. Let's move on.
Does that ever like bug you, or like, Paul, come on, let's just move on?
No, if he asks for one more, like I know it's for good reason, so I don't usually put up a fight.
And then, what's the secret to staying in sync?
Paying attention.
Listening to his body movements.
Yeah, I guess thanks for joining me today. I could have asked a million more questions, but they're giving me the whole hook and chain right now. So, thanks so much, guys. Great, all the best of luck, and I'll be cheering.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.